Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into
The
it.
lock that opens the hood is activated very simply. It has a metal cable that goes through the engine compartment into the passenger compartment, and the other end is attached to the lever on the dashboard. The design may vary slightly depending on the model and manufacturer of the car. Somewhere there is a lever on the dashboard, as in VAZ, and somewhere there is a button. There may be some other differences. Anyway, it is a very simple mechanism, but it sometimes breaks. And it usually happens at the most inopportune moment, when it is necessary to open the hood, where the most important units of the car are located. After all, you usually look there in case of any malfunctions, and when you add a problem with access, it becomes a very unpleasant surprise. The cause is usually a broken cable, which transmits force from the lever in the cabin to the lock. To replace it, it is necessary to open it in some other way, and this often puts the motorist in a deadlock. The lock is inside, and it is unknown how to get to it. But everything is not as terrible as it seems. You can open the lock, and often it takes a little time. Although there are also difficult situations when you can't do without an inspection pit. Causes of cable drive breakage. The breakage of the cable can be associated with different reasons, from a banal rubbing to too strong tension. With multi-strand metal ones, this happens much less often, but not always the manufacturer installs such. Therefore, keep in mind that if the drive breaks, it will have to be replaced, and it is best to just a multi-core. It is much stronger and more flexible. Often the driver himself is to blame for the breakage when he pulls the lever sharply. It is at this point that the cable can break away from him. Also, the lock and cable itself requires regular maintenance and lubrication, and if this is not done, it can rust and jam. The driver will have to repeatedly pull the lever, which will lead to a breakage. The lock may freeze in the cold, and the cable may be stretched too tight. This can also lead to the same result. Locating the breakage point. When the cable comes off or breaks, the lever or button moves freely, without effort, and the problem of how to open the hood appears. Most often the problem occurs in the place where the actuator is attached to the lever in the passenger compartment. This is the simplest situation. But sometimes the cable breaks at the lock under the hood. This is the second most common case, more complicated. Finally, it can happen anywhere else, such as in the middle, due to wear and tear. Read also, what happens if you slam the car door hard in any case? It is very difficult to determine the exact location because the signs are the same. Therefore, it is better to assume the simplest and most common situation, the first one. Ways to open the hood. Depending on the situation, you can open the hood lock in different ways. If the break occurred at the lever, you can do it by pulling the end of the cable. And if it happened at the lock, then everything becomes more complicated, since you need to get to it and open it manually. Therefore, let's consider both options. From the tools you will need pliers and a long screwdriver. Breakage inside the passenger compartment. Since it is not possible to open the hood if the cable has broken, the first thing to do is to inspect the lever, which is located on the panel. Here, more lucky owners of VAZ cars. For many years, the design of this simple mechanism has not practically changed and is arranged very primitively. You can just see whether the cable is attached to the lever or not. If it is not there, the end usually sticks out in the channel, since it does not go inside. It can be gently but firmly hooked with pliers and pulled. The hood should open. In cars of foreign origin, everything can be a bit more complicated. There the mechanism is usually closed, and you can't see anything just like that. Then you will have to remove the cover and also try to find the end of the cable. If it is not broken at the lever, it means that it happened elsewhere. A break under the hood. When the cable break occurs in the engine compartment or at the lock, the only option is to open it manually. Again, it is easier for VAZ owners. You can simply remove the radiator grill, which is attached to the usual latches, and open the lock by hand. On other brands of cars, everything can be more complicated. If the holes in the grill are big enough, you can try to find the place of cable fastening to the lock with a screwdriver, hook and pull. Sometimes it is easier to do it with a homemade wire hook than with a screwdriver. Read also, What to do in case of receiving an erroneous find: you can try to lift the edge of the hood in the area of the lock and pull out the rubber seal in this place. Through the resulting small hole with a hook or a screwdriver, you can sometimes unlatch the lock. Sometimes it is easier to break the grill and then buy a new one. It is an inexpensive part. If the grill is too small and you don't want to break anything, you will have to get to the lock through the underbody. To do this, you will have to remove the crankcase protection and try to get to the lock with a screwdriver from below, parallel to the radiator, in order to hook it and yank. If the screwdriver is too short, you can tape it to something long enough to reach the right spot. An inspection pit will make the job easier, and if you don't have one, it's best to use a jack. When the hood opens forward, it is more difficult to open the hood of the car if it is tilted forward. The windshield interferes. It is difficult to raise the middle of the hood, and it is also problematic to get to the lock from below. In this case, you can try to get the latch through the air intake grill. The air intake itself must be removed, and the grill will be found under it. Sometimes it is necessary to saw out one division of this grill if the slots in it are too narrow. You can also use a wire hook or a screwdriver, as the case may be, replacing the broken cable with a new one. It is not difficult to replace this simple part. It is necessary to purchase the same cable, but preferably a multi-strand one. Its length should be sufficient. Attach it first to the lock, then pull it along the same path into the cabin, having previously put on a plastic limiter in the form of a cap. When attaching to the lever, you will need the help of another person who will pull the cable so that it comes more out of the channel. And it was more convenient to fix it on the lever. Too much tension should not be applied, or a new break may soon occur. To prevent such situations, you need to monitor the condition of both the cable itself and the lock. It is useful to occasionally lubricate them with lithyl or other grease. Most often breakage occurs when the driver sharply pulls the lever, so you should not do this. In conclusion, dealing with a broken hood release cable can be frustrating, but there are several effective methods to access your engine compartment. Whether you choose to use a pair of pliers to pull the latch directly, employ a coat hanger to reach the release mechanism, or even remove the grill for a more direct approach, each technique can help you get the job done. Remember to always prioritize safety and consider seeking professional assistance if you're unsure. With these tips in mind, you can confidently tackle this common issue and keep your vehicle running smoothly. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful automotive advice.